Hey everybody, welcome back to Hex Token Channel, Superman Crypto and Pulsechain X. Big shout out to everybody, over 10,500 subscribers. Appreciate you all. Now we've got a very special interview here with Erik, the founder of DragonX, built on top of TitanX, of course, and really is the killer app on there, I would say, doing amazing job. So we're going to deep dive into all that. I know you're going to enjoy Erik talking about that. Really insightful founder. I think you guys are going to love the intel from him and more opportunities ahead. We're obviously going to cover DragonX, TitanX. We're going to get a bit of Pulsechain too on SolidX and some bullish stuff around that and new protocols. So I think you guys are going to all enjoy it. Get into the chat, get your questions in. I'm sure we have a bit of question time, and yeah, get involved. That's what we like to see. I've pinned the DragonX website to the top of the chat there, so you guys can go to that straight away. Follow them on X, of course, and share the channel around. Everyone loves that, helping each other out. So get on there, folks, and definitely check out the protocol. Now, this is one of the project areas that we cover in Strategy Club in our Discord, so you can join up to that today. The link's in the video description, so get into that if you want to join us. And of course, now we've got founders like Erik in the house. So without further ado, let's bring up Erik in the house here, and let's go. Hey, Erik, good to see you.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. I hope you like the branding in the background.
You put some DragonX logo behind me. I like that dragon design, though. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty epic. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. We got a couple people in the house here. We got Trent in here. Good to see you, Trent. Hey, everybody.
Hey there.
Good to see you. Trent's in Strategy Club.
Thanks for having me.
We got Scott Jackson as well. Another day in paradise, Dragon. Jesus. So there we go. Nice compliment there. Kind of cool. Hey, I was just wondering, we could kick it off with the chart, because I know the chart's absolutely been boom, boom, boom. A 10x plus chart, right? In just the last week or so, a couple of weeks at most. So let's probably check that out if that's where you want to go. Just to start it off with the real crypto boom, 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 as we say. I just made that up. All right, let's go to there, and I'm just going to pull up the chart here. Let me share the screen. All right, bam. Well, that is the chart now for DragonX. Look at that thing. That's the daily chart.
Here we go.
Looks
all-time high, yeah.
Mm.
Looks like we got almost all-time high there, yeah? If not all-time high.
It's almost back at day one chart, so that's unbelievable. What would you like to say about that chart? We'll go full screen.
No, I think it's playing out really beautifully. Those red candles, I don't think anyone really traded those. I think that was just sniper bots. So I think ultimately the volume happened a little bit lower, the real trading volume. So yeah, we're definitely touching up on all-time high, and yeah, it's just a testament to the product and the community around it. So it's really, really exciting.
Now I know that I think you put out on X like maybe a week ago. You put out a chart. You put out a chart where you put in 10x after 10x after 10x.
Yeah. So you were day one Hexagon, right, man?
What's that?
You're a day one Hexagon, right?
I am indeed. Yeah. And I think
yeah,
like yourself.
Respect, man. Respect. Now I got in March 2020.
March 2020. Okay. Well, that was a good time. It was like
time.
Yeah.
It was still. I mean, we were still had no clue what Hex would be, at that point.
Yeah.
But I remember Richard used to put up that chart, and it was the $1 million per Hex chart. Remember that?
That's right. Yeah.
And I wanted to do something similar just to get people excited. It's obviously not financial advice; it's more entertainment. But you could see what a 10,000x would actually look like on the chart and how we're tracking toward that.
Yeah.
Which is fun. It's fun to look at.
Yeah, I liked your chart with those the upside there, 10,000%. I think it was. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So yeah, that chart's looking pretty good. And the DragonX website is your inflation's all out, right? So DragonX, for those that are new, your inflation's all out. So we might go back to that actually and have a quick look at the website. So this is the DragonX website. I pinned it to the chat at the top there. But yeah, the inflation's basically out, and I can see the inflation at the top here, 5.4 trillion with 1.3 trillion burned. You got give us some details about that.
Yeah, sure. So it's so our token is a deflationary token, unlike Hex. Like we experienced in the early days, people came in, they got a ton of bonuses, right? They got the referral bonus, they got the early adopter bonus, they got Bitcoin free claimers, right? AA lobby. So there was just so much inflation coming out, right? So I wanted to create a token that's kind of like the inverse of Hex. And I think it has the same potential, really, because there was a limited mint phase with DragonX. It was 30 days, and you could get it at 1-to-1 with TitanX. So if you had TitanX, you could get that, or you could buy TitanX and put it in. And after that 30 days closed, no more DragonX can ever be inflated. So instead of inflating the rewards to bring in adoption, we actually pull the economic value from another protocol, and we use that to inflate the value. So that's kind of the philosophy behind DragonX. So yeah, the entire supply is out now, and the 20% of the supply has already been burned. So during that shakeout period, we got a couple $1 million, and that was DCAing in and basically eating up all the supply of the weak hands. And what you have then, basically, we got that formation of consolidation, and then I did a big live stream with Mike Dean, Hey Rich, and basically I announced that we have more products being built. And what that did was it basically opened up the narrative. So for those of you that were in Hex, you know that a big part of the speculative kind of nature of Hex and why it went up so high is because you had Richard, who had all this Ethereum, and you had this new concept that was uncapped in terms of its potential, right? Richard was talking about this thing being on CNN on the ticker down below, right? And we all got captivated by this idea, and that's what drove a lot of the adoption. It was the unknown, right? So because our payouts were tied to TitanX, it was kind of a known quantity, DragonX. But when I came out and announced that we'd be launching a new protocol, that made people realize that, wait a second, this can be more than what it is right now. Because now the burning can reach a level that we didn't expect. And that opens up room for speculation, is the opacity, right? So that's kind of, I think, why the chart went up. And it also has to do with the fact that people realize that we're not done. In general, like, I'm still showing up. We're not finished. So I think that's kind of what led to the rise. Yeah.
So you got more. You've had 20% burned. You've got you're basically a whale staker on TitanX,
right?
And that means you're going to get staker payouts in the future. So you got potentially a lot more to be burned with the staker payout, and I think that's coming up October, something like that, later end of October.
Yeah, October 30th. We have several million, 3 million, but we actually may have more because this new protocol is going to be putting more TitanX into the DragonX vault, which increases our position in the pool. So we're going to probably get more from that. Excuse me. Additionally, so here's TitanX watch, and this shows the amount of Ethereum that our protocol is going to receive. 2 million at the current prices, but we don't know what it will be on October 30th.
Yeah.
My guess is we have some rate hikes coming in September. So that probably will pump the price of Ethereum. In addition, Jake's new protocol, X28, is going to burn stakes. So the staking pool will some people will vacate the staking pool and move on to X28. And when they do that, our portion of the pool will get bigger.
So the payouts portion will get bigger. Good chance that this will get bigger. And therefore it's going to come back on DragonX and come into these two pools here, these two, the buy TitanX or DragonX vault and the buy and burn on DragonX.
Correct. And both of these actually pump TitanX. So the one on the left is how the DragonX system compounds its gains and gets a larger share of the share pool over time. So it buys TitanX off the market, and then it stakes it for the max length.
Right.
All of the stakes are restaked over time, so there's no burning of the tokens, but they're locked in the contract forever.
So that's going to put big buy pressure on the TitanX.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, even in TitanX, this is going to be consequential for the price because I think what do they have, 1 million or so in liquidity, and this is 3 mil.
Yep, something like that. So we got 1.6 million liquidity on TitanX.
Right. So yeah, it could double the liquidity pool, which would 4x the price, right? So this alone could bring a 4x to TitanX.
Okay.
And then on the other side,
this one here,
this actually also buys TitanX, but then it takes that TitanX and it swaps it for DragonX and buys and burns DragonX. So you get a double buy. The full amount of economic value is put into TitanX, and then half of it's put into DragonX.
Wow, that's fantastic. So a real nice leverage play on the old TitanX but also pumping the US dollar value of TitanX. So,
yep,
pretty awesome. And of course, that's going to burn more than 20%. Currently got 5.4 trillion. Man, it could go down a lot, right? So, well, no, 4 trillion, something like that. I don't know, somewhere down there.
Yeah, and we have other protocols that are also building. So I'm building a protocol on top of DragonX, but there's another protocol I'm talking to right now that you guys would probably know by name that will be integrating. It will be integrating as well into the DragonX vault, most likely.
Okay, so you got 2 projects potentially that are going to come along on in addition to the staker payouts and the buy and burns that are going to take supply off the market.
Right. I'm also I'm pushing Jake to put some X28 liquid into the vault as opposed to just burning it. So I've been pushing him. I'm like, hey man, this is a great opportunity. Let's not waste it. Let's use the vault whenever we can, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm pushing him on that as well.
Fantastic. Sounds pretty bullish to me. All right, so that's ticking away. Jake's also got some other plans for TitanX that's going to help lift DragonX value as well. I think one's called the Shadow Project.
Yeah, so Jake has a Shadow project, which I won't mention it because I'm not sure if he wants me to mention it or not yet.
Yeah.
So there's X28. He has a Shadow project that will benefit all TitanX coins. So the way it's designed is really smart. And we also have Titan Farms, which my team is building.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like it's a bit like Pulsechain in terms of the farms there, you know?
Yeah.
An incentive token and everything. What's cool about it is that it's a buy and burn. So imagine if Pulsechain, an incentive token, were bonded, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the idea behind that. So you're going to have people can put out an LP, like get an incentive token, but the LP fees will actually go to buy and burn that token back, which buoys the value of it.
Fantastic. Now, have you got some LP stuff coming into any of these vaults or pools?
So actually, the way I think about it is, you don't want to put too much liquidity into a pool at first.
Yeah,
because that will stymie the adoption and stymie the growth. It didn't take a lot of economic energy for us to do a 10x, and that's because the liquidity pool was well balanced based on the number of users that were in there. So now the liquidity's thickened. And I don't know if you saw it today, but like someone did a $20,000 buy on the market.
No, I didn't see that. No,
great market buy.
Wow.
What are we up to? 1,600%. Yeah.
Yeah. That was probably here earlier here somewhere. There we are, 20K. That was 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, 50 billion TitanX got 6.8 billion DragonX. Nice. New account.
Yeah. I love it. It's like, it reminds me of Hex in the early days, man. Like it was doing nothing, and then people just started to buy, and then the Godwell bought. Remember that? He bought like 50K and staked it.
Parabola after parabola. In fact, I think I got that chart. Yeah.
Oh, that would be great to have a look at.
Let me pull this up here. It's one of these Hex log. Look. This is the ETH chart. This would be V1. Presumably it still works. I haven't opened it for a long time. It's not opening. It must be the fuck now. It's on Uniswap Vision, so maybe it's having a bit of trouble there. But that would have shut up.
Does Dex Tools have the historical price?
Maybe. Actually, not sure on the Hex V1. V3, V1. Oh, yeah, it's Hex V1 Pulse. No, not the one I'm after. V3, yeah. So look.
I think that's not going to be everything, right?
Have to go to weekly, yeah. But I will give the idea if we can get up, yeah.
Yeah, so look at that. I mean, is this daily? Oh, weekly. Okay.
Weekly, yeah, I've gone weekly, yeah. But if we have a look at daily, I'll probably show the power. Yeah, it's got full data on it. From May, starts from May, yeah. That's why I was wanting the V1, Uniswap one.
Maybe we should go to that V1. It could be cool to see the early days of Hex.
Not opening, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, it was just basically day after day of green candle.
Yeah, just parallel after parallel. Yeah.
It's because of the adoption, right? Like when you come from a low base of adoption and you just keep adding people, then they need to get in, right? In the early days of Hex, people were staking for a long time, so there wasn't a lot of tokens on hitting the market, especially after the AA ended, right? So it's really cool because basically the Hex AA was 1 year of inflation, right? Or was it 6 months? Can't remember. But for that first year, inflation was coming through the AA. But with DragonX, we did it in 1 month. Right now, we're totally deflationary. We've already burned
51 days, I think, was it something like that?
Yeah. So we're like trying to accelerate that, and it took Hex 20,000 people to do that first 8x or 10x.
Yeah,
because Richard did that 10x stream like 5 years ago, and that was with 20,000 users, and we've done it on 1,600 users.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
And so I think there are definitely a lot of parallels to Hex. You have a big payday-like event, the 369, but instead of inflating to bring value to the ecosystem, you actually bring in millions in Ethereum from other places, and you actually buy and burn the token instead. So you inject economic value through an external source instead of using inflation as your mechanism for adoption.
Yeah, fantastic.
And what we're going to do with this new protocol is we're going to be building a way for people to compound their wealth, but it benefits DragonX in a deflationary way. So some of that TitanX that comes in to do the compounding on this new protocol with Jake is going to be used to buy and burn DragonX. So with Hex, you had the value of you have the store of value and the inflation and adoption bonded into one token, right? But with DragonX, you have it distinct. You could say it's either TitanX is the adoption mechanism via mining, which it was in the beginning, where this new protocol was, and then the store of value is DragonX, right? So I really like that model, and I think it definitely competes for token economics with Hex. Hex had the rewards in Hex were all through inflation, and I remember I'm sure you remember it too, like just watching these huge whales just completely just dump.
It was a blast. It was a blast, absolutely.
It was a blast.
12 parabolics or 13 parabolics, one of the two. It was pretty epic.
Yeah, for sure.
On the way to glory, as it were. And it was groundbreaking too. I mean, it was groundbreaking for DeFi, groundbreaking for Uniswap. It was groundbreaking for Goldwhale. I mean, there's so many cool moments along the way, as well as Richard being the rebel of crypto. So all had those cool elements to it.
Yeah, the crazy streams, the Roger Verse stream, and all these wacko guys.
Yeah, different all over the place. Yeah. Well, Richard Hart's, Hex, for example, came off the back of the previous year was an epic year for scams. There were so many scams out there online, and websites offering people yield and all sorts of crazy scams out there. And so Hex came along at a really good time, even after being delayed all the time. But it was it really did come up perfect time, and then Uniswap came perfect time, all that sort of stuff. So it played out pretty nicely. Now, obviously, advanced a lot of the things that were in there.
How did you find Richard?
At the beginning, when he was first streaming, I was following other streamers before that were just into Ethereum and Bitcoin and stuff like that. And I saw Richard, with his top hat and other things like that, doing his early videos. And of course, he was a very different kind of guy back then on the videos compared to where he went. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. The evolution of Richard Hart, you could call it. You could easily put a video of that. But so that's kind of where I got into that. But
it's really worth watching those early streams. I mean, it just gives a lot of insight into why he created Hex. His idea was basically that he was a Bitcoin OG, and he knows everything about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And his idea was, well, Bitcoin is basically consensus in mining and game theory, and that's basically it, right? And his idea was, well, what if we let Ethereum handle the consensus, and we just have a pure game theoretical system, which is Hex. And that was kind of one of the foundational ideas behind Hex, along with trustless interest and some other things.
Yeah, the share rate and things. The old certificate of deposit argument, and bring that to. Well, there's a lot of trade fire that hasn't even been brought into crypto yet, like tons of it. So there's a lot of opportunities out there for developers. But like you say, you need to do the marketing too. You get the word out and spread the word. So it's not just about building the greatest product, as it were.
And that's what Richard was all about, right? I mean, the game theory was great and everything, and it was good for adoption. But I mean, I would say that probably 70% was Richard streaming straight for 2 years. Showing how smart he was, and showing and getting on all these streams with really smart people, and just shilling Hex like crazy, and that was a huge part of it.
Yep, absolutely did an amazing job with that. The other thing is that he's been pretty good with his price calls, but I think he's been a genius with his market calls. So market events, everything that went down, he pretty much called out, years before, at the beginning when they launched, particularly in terms of C5. I think he was absolutely, a genius with those calls, which hats off to him for all that.
He was way ahead of his time. Like he could see the value and the decentralization that Ethereum could bring. And one of the first coins on Uniswap, it was really, really cool to be around back then. Yeah.
Rich is just pointing out about the GUI on Ethereum, which not too much of a problem now. We've got proto-dank sharding and second layer crazes like base chain and other things, but yeah, it's definitely times.
I mean, the Hex stakers were getting destroyed, and then the top of the bull market, you couldn't even end your stake.
That's right. So and now what they raised the S-load function like 7 times or 8 times, something like that on Ethereum.
Brutal.
All right, let's get into. Sorry, what was that, Eric?
You did a Hex stake recently. I haven't entered one recently. Is it still bad?
No, it's super cheap because GUI's like 1 GUI and stuff, 2 GUI, so it's not too bad. The other thing I didn't like about Hex is he bragged about calling the top on Bitcoin, but he couldn't call the top on Hex. Lol, says Rich. Like I said, I think he wasn't obviously perfect with his market calls, but he was good with his market calls. But with his price calls, he was good with them. He wasn't obviously perfect with them. He made some misjudgments there, but his market calls with events were just unbelievably good. I mean, they were just one after another of the C5s just kept falling after he called it out. And the thing, and it was just a remarkable. People that called him a scam fell, Yeah. I used to remember a list of these.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable.
I mean, Machinsky. Remember, he had Machinsky on his stream.
Yeah, that's right. Machinsky's the famous one, right? Yeah.
And then Machinsky went down gloriously. That was amazing.
Rich, Brian says that RH made it good. It became the target for powers to be, but we will win in time, says Brian. Yeah, well, we had some. Sure. I saw that news today about the Binance versus Hex and CoinMarketCap. So that's back on the table now. So that was good news.
That's great. I think we deserve that. And if the air can clear around Hex and CoinMarketCap's forced to list it, that's even better when Richard returns, right? Because then he can pump it to Valhalla and everyone will see.
Yeah, and it can turn around very quick. So we'll keep watching out for that. Rich shares set 15-year ladder when it was trading at 17 cents. That was great to see, says Brian. The journey continues. We've got lots of action with court cases this year, and who knows? He's got the dream team of lawyers. You never know what the outcome's going to be. We've got Trump coming up if he's pro-crypto. So if he wins, that's positive too. Maybe insurance policy for us. Otherwise, it's going to get dragged into next year. We're also waiting for the ETH price to get back over 3,700, so that's going to be important as well.
Was it the last couple $100 million down? Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah. So we've got a few things coming up, but Brian.
That is one problem is, the Pulsechain narrative has collapsed a bit around Richard and Sack Daddy bringing that ETH back over.
Yeah,
and I hope that we can help with that with our SolidX protocol, because ultimately bring a new utility. It's important that other people bring that in, other than Richard.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, before we get onto Pulsechain, which is a good pivot, did you have anything else you want to talk about in terms of the TitanX, DragonX ecosystem? Obviously, we've got the staker payouts, the buy and burns, new projects coming. It really is looking super bullish for DragonX. So yeah, exciting times, and people are in a pretty good. I mean, with the pump at the moment, it's still kind of very early in my view.
I think it's very early. Yeah, what I'll say is that, Hex took 20,000 to do his first 10x. We took 1,600, and we're just getting started. There is, if you think about, as Richard used to say, the number of people outside of a token versus the number of people inside tells you what the potential is of a token.
Yeah,
we have 1,600 people inside right now, and there's just within TitanX, there's almost 10 times the number of people who have yet to capitulate into DragonX. So I think it's a matter of time until these green candles get to them, and they need to take a position. And when that happens, the price can go a lot higher.
I see the ratio's been going up as well. So if I flip to TitanX rather than USD, I can see the ratio has rocketed against TitanX.
That's the right there.
And the other thing for me, this has got a natural level of 10-1 because of the liquid supply ratio. So I definitely see that definitely quite easily getting to 10x. You've also got coming up in looking at the TitanX supply, you've got the last of the inflation, after the big payday event, the big 281. You got this big inflation amount, which is a lot of inflation there, but I think we're probably going to see pretty similar to what we've seen so far with the hodlers dominating. And once we get through that, my goodness, October's going to be insane. That's all I can see in the start. Now, in terms of what were you going to say?
369 payout is going to hit basically a very low deflation token, and you saw that the 280 was basically a non-event, right? So I think a lot of the naysayers are gonna realize that this thing is here to stay.
Yeah. Now you're getting this big staker payout out here after all the inflation comes. It's going to be insane. Honestly, it's really insane. Especially looking from my point of view, I'm looking at October being kind of being really a takeoff month for the crypto as well. And then you've got, of course, you've got all these protocols that are going to come, including some of the ones that you're doing, like Titan Farms. It's looking pretty epic.
Yeah, Titan Farms will be great. Excuse me, I need to just add the charger over here. But Titan Farms is going to be great for people that own DragonX because they can basically earn a new token just by holding that TitanX. So what I want to do is, like I said, balancing liquidity is very important to price appreciation.
Yeah.
So I want to see us go up like 100x. Then you release Titan Farms, you bring in utility, and you thicken the liquidity. Right. So we don't want to thicken the liquidity too much yet with a farming protocol. Yeah. But later in the year, in the fall, I think it makes sense to do Titan Farms.
Yep. Okay. Cool. There we are, folks. There's a little bit of headline into the timeline. Now you got one or two other protocols that you're working with Jake on. Jake's working on a protocol for Dragon. Do you have any idea when that will come out? Is that similar to his kind of X28 or Shogun?
That's going to launch before X28. That will launch probably early September. So it's coming up fast.
So it's coming up in a year.
That protocol is effectively, just in time for that big payout.
Yeah, well, there's a big. We've also got the Vortex coming out here, right? So it's coming out right here from Hyper. Man, this chart's going to be insane. the price charts again. I hope people
all these other TitanX protocols.
Yeah. Say that again.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. When all these other TitanX protocols get dragged up, you have all this marketing that can be done by all the different teams.
Yeah,
they can all go out to different communities and market their protocol, and it all benefits TitanX.
Fantastic. So yeah, I mean, TitanX is very close. I mean, with the bulk of it to all its flat inflation being out, and then you've got some early protocols launching early September. You're saying, and we've got the Vortex coming out around the 19th, I think it is, on September, somewhere like that. And then you've got the at the end of October here, you've got the big payday, 369 payday. And then you got more protocols, so it's looking pretty awesome.
Yeah, everything's coming together really well. I mean, Hex did a 10,000x with basically nothing built on it except for Hedron,
Yeah.
we have all this functionality now for TitanX. So I think at this point, really, it's just a marketing game.
Yeah, absolutely. What do we got there? Britton says day one DragonX here. How about that? Nice one.
Nice. You're obviously DragonX or
DragonX. I'm sure there's more Dragon Hexicans than people think. There are a lot of open-minded hexicans out there. They're in crypto too, you know. They're not just one light and one pony race there. But Rich Landon says I need a DX retest so I can get in.
I remember trying to play that game.
I saw an influencer talking about that in DragonX the other day, and I was just like, oh, I don't think DragonX come back down, dude. That's what I was like at the time. Given what we know.
Is that the guy? Did you see? We got a shout out. A guy who has 1 million on TikTok shouted us out yesterday. Did you see that?
Oh, fantastic! Wow, that's awesome. Congratulations. Yeah. That's the other thing. So you've been ramping up your marketing. Obviously, you're on here, but you're on other influencers, and you're going to be doing more of those. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Next few months will be crazy, says Trennan. Absolutely. Al Merlos says TitanX link. Well, I'll give you the TitanX hub, and that way you can go to all the different projects. So let's post that in the chat there. The TitanX hub, that's by Mike Dean. He's pretty much the head of the data info insights. You can also put your portfolio in there as well. You can paste your wallet. But that is the link there for TitanX hub. That will get you to all the protocols. And you can see you got all the links there, the website for TitanX, DragonX, Hyper, and everything else, Helios. Inferno. Inferno's taking TitanX at the moment, right? So, in fact, they must have another intake soon coming up. So we'll quick look at that. Not that we're going to focus too much. When's that coming up?
Inferno's doing well.
2 days and 11 hours for cycle 4 to open up. So, what have they taken in? 1.3.
Have you jumped into that?
What's that?
Have you jumped into Inferno?
Let me just open that up there. Inferno. No, I'm not Inferno myself, but it is taken in 1.3 trillion TitanX, so it's doing pretty well. It's opening up cycle 4 in 2 days and 11 hours. So you got that humming away, taking TitanX as well. So looking pretty badass. And there's other projects out here like Ouroboros. I don't know what their status is at the moment, but that's a pretty good idea. You got obviously
Titan 5. Well.
Titan 5's got a good idea. That's there. Yeah. Scott says, awesome stream. Hey, thanks. Al's in the house there. Thanks, Superman. Hey, most welcome. And what else there? DragonX really helped Baby DragonX price performance, says Hex Titan. Let's have a look at that, actually. We've got Baby X up here with me. Yeah. Let's have a quick look at that one. Got the chart.
They need to do more marketing over at Baby DragonX.
On Baby DragonX. Right. Let me just copy
only have
that.
about 107 users. So.
I'll put that on there. I don't think I've got that on my list. Oh, yeah, looking good. So there's Baby DragonX having a hyper pump at the moment. So, yeah, everything looking pretty good. Who put that up there? Was it Hex Titan? Yeah, looking good. All right, so yeah, if you want to check out all the projects in TitanX Hub, that's the link there. Mike Dean is the developer of that. You can also paste your address in that, which is pretty cool. Where's all that icon? TitanX Hub. You can go to portfolio and you can paste an address in, and it will show you your TitanX position, I guess, which is pretty neat. That's it.
Yeah, Mike Dean is doing awesome work there.
Yeah, and the other thing is that we've noticed that TitanX. The other thing is that TitanX, the yield at the moment is negative 66%. So it's going to be interesting to watch that in the next month or so. And then, of course,
that's going to be huge.
Yeah, that's going to be huge, and I think that's going to take.
It's great for DragonX too. Yeah, so if the mining comes back, that's super cool.
Yeah. So we already see that on Hyper, right? So Hyper's looking pretty good. Let's pull up Hyper actually while I'm here. I had it open, but I closed it. Hyper Miner is looking pretty good. I mean, you got 78%, but I've seen it up at 112 or higher in recent days. 78% at the moment, which makes it pretty good. the buy and burn at the moment on there, 96.4 ETH. That's a very bullish thing to see that ETH in there. Another buy and burn on the TitanX chart, helping to keep that up as well. So that's kind of cool. And burning that, I believe. So at least buying it, I should say. And then you got the hyper buy and burn ticking away as well with the 600K in it. Burning hyper as well. And like I said earlier, you got the vortex coming up. It is coming up very soon. And it's going to pop up around about here on the 19th, I think it is. Right in the middle of September, that last bout of inflation. So, man, this ecosystem is looking legit. Legit. All right.
A lot of buy and burn.
A lot of buy and burn. Yeah, that's just crazy. I know that there's, hey, look, we talk about the buy and burns. There's lots of them out there. Obviously, we've got DragonX out there as well. Obviously, you got millions of dollars in DragonX. I should have closed this down close to me a bit early. We got not DragonX. I'm going to go TitanX. TitanX buy and burn at the moment. We've got 3.4 million still in V2 with 1,258 ETH, and V1 still got 4,458 ETH, $12 million, folks. I mean, this is all the buy pressure on the buy side and burning on the supply side. And besides this, we've also got the Genesis wallets are sitting out there secretly with about 2.7 million dollars in them as well. That's pretty epic. Yeah. So
I mean, eventually
DragonX hyper ecosystems looking legit, and Erik, you're playing a big role in that. I'm sure it's been fun, and you're rolling into the marketing now.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think marketing is where we need to apply effort now. So I'll give you a piece of alpha. Is we're actually going on Crypto Saving Expert probably next week.
Oh, fantastic!
So for everyone in this stream, you're now aware that we're going to be doing a live stream on Crypto Saving Expert, as well as some articles and tweets and that kind of thing.
Awesome. There we go, folks. We've got Priority One says, does my DragonX have to sell to TitanX to enter the Earn protocol?
No, you can use TitanX directly. So the idea is we're always trying to accrue as much new value into DragonX as possible. We want as many income streams into this deflationary asset. Yeah. So we wouldn't accept DragonX to be sold down. Instead, you use TitanX.
Okay.
And then the TitanX will buy the DragonX. No, the DragonX is not really involved in the actual compounding protocol. What it is it receives TitanX that goes into the vault, the DragonX vault, which increases the amount of shares it has in the staking pool.
Okay.
And some DragonX is bought and burned off the market.
Yeah.
So it's a direct buy.
About 45%, was it? About 45% in each of those pools, something like
that. For what?
For the TitanX that goes into the ETH that buys TitanX, does it get split about 50, 45, 45, something around that ballpark? Because you still have a Genesis take. Is that right? This is wild since
sorry, you're talking about the original staking?
The original DragonX, yeah.
Or the new protocol?
Not the new one.
The original staking rewards are 8% to Genesis, and then the rest split between the two.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, okay, cool. And the new protocol, though, is just to clarify, the new protocol is just taking all the TitanX into the vault.
The new protocol takes 20% to the DragonX vault,
okay,
and then 80%. It does a 20% buy and burn on DragonX from that.
Okay,
and the rest goes into a buy and burn for this new token. So it's 60%. What is that?
On new token, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so it does. And then that buy and burn goes through DragonX to the new token. So you get perpetual buy and burn in two ways, perpetual buy pressure in two ways, and then you get the buy and burn on one aspect of it.
Okay. I really like that.
20%.
Okay. Brandon says top of the
more rewards up front. So remember, like in Hex, there were so many rewards just being thrown at people, but with this, and there's even fewer bonuses than Hyper. So you see how Hyper's already returned to profitability, right? Because there's been fewer early adopter bonuses to hold the price down. This will be even more extreme in that regard. So the ROI will be even higher, and it'll be easier to keep it up.
Okay, cool.
So it should be even higher ROI than Hyper.
Excited to see that.
for compounding.
We got Brendan's got a question here. Top of the market DragonX TitanX ratio prediction.
200x DragonX 200x above TitanX.
200x. There we are, Brendan.
Or maybe I guess TitanX is going up a lot, so maybe 100x above.
100x. Okay.
With TitanX doing another 10x above.
What do you think about the larger holders in DragonX? I mean, you're going to lose some. I think we've seen some reasonably sized DragonX guys exit the last couple of days. Now you're always going to get those early ones, so it's going to be presumably you're going to get longer ones. They're going to stay because they see the big ecosystem picture, but then you're also going to get some that are just going to exit at some stage as well and redistribute, I guess, which is plenty good because we're still very holders.
Yeah, as it is with any token, I think that there'll be whales that decide to exit at different price levels. We have DragonX Hybrid, which is a way for whales to exit without hitting the market at all. They can put their tokens into an NFT hybrid and they can sell it on OpenSea.
Yeah, okay.
And then the person that receives that NFT, they can basically melt that NFT down back into tokens.
Yeah, okay. That's also on the
hybrid NFT.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yellowtail says,
ultimately, I imagine.
Yellowtail, one big candle really does take away 1 year of red, says Yellowtail. And Trent says, with the new mining protocol being paired with DragonX, do you think sellers will hurt the DragonX price?
They will sell through DragonX, but you're going to have a 20% buy and burn, perpetual buy and burn. And any buying that comes in also comes through that pool, so it should negate that.
Okay. Let's see here.
And it's worth it to remove supply. It's worth it to remove supply.
October is coming.
A higher floor.
It is definitely coming very quickly. It's going to take people by surprise. Honestly, people that are still holding back. So, how does it compound as in the new token must appreciate over DragonX and then to sell down to TitanX? You kind of answered that part.
Well, it needs to appreciate over TitanX because your input is actually TitanX. It's not DragonX. But the thing is that the protocol is it's bonded to DragonX, so it's gonna have some of the price appreciation of DragonX plus its own buy and burn.
Yeah.
So it's gonna continue to elevate its own price through a buy and burn, which will keep miner ROI high. Plus, it has the ROI of the DragonX token as it goes up. So you saw baby DragonX and how much more that had appreciated than DragonX. And I imagine in the early days of this token, you'll see something similar until the liquidity gets thicker. So people are going to rush in to get that 1000% or whatever that is, right? And that will perpetuate this buy and burn, perpetuate the entire system, pushing up the DragonX price in the process.
It's going to be good. Rich says, I want to buy DX NFT, but none are listed. Yeah, that's true.
Well, you can create one, obviously. But I mean, the thing to do is to push other people to use it because it really is a valuable utility to the entire ecosystem. To have the ability to do OTC, it's really good.
Won't move the market AMM. It'll just be like OTC, over the counter. The priority one, all TitanX should move through the DragonX protocol, get locked into the DragonX hybrid NFTs, both for gamify and farms with an incentive tokenomics.
It's a bit complicated to mesh those two concepts together. And you don't want to create too much friction for the user. It's better to have ultimately if a P2P market is just where the only place people can trade, then it effectively will become like an order book.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You want a bit more dynamic market. It's good to have the option, but certainly for larger holders potentially, but there's quite a market does redistribute, right? That's what you see. A good project. All right, so should we get into the Pulsechain side? You got anything else to say from the Ethereum side? We did have covered a lot of stuff in there.
No, I think we covered everything. I personally get early Hex vibes, and I'm not saying that because I'm the founder. It's because I was early Hex, and you were as well.
New protocols, all those time burns looking insane. Yeah. And it's going to get pretty insane in 6 weeks. 6 weeks away. I mean, that's the time frame. Yeah, it's going to go insane before that, but it's kind of that's kind of how short this is, folks. Before the inflation, it's going to be insane. So we can only say insane so many times. Okay, I said it again. All right.
If you look at the penalty, you'll see how many people actually checked out. It's actually kind of sad because a lot of people are leaving their miners to just burn out. There's already been $1 million in penalties.
Yep. I had to remind somebody that they had a time some miners coming out. So just the way
really,
I won't name names. Name names. Anyway, what else have we got? Good info. DragonX is the most viable for the max gains. There's priority one there. You mentioned the token to R back to DragonX. Use 10% TitanX fee to buy and burn DragonX when minting the new coin, arbitration and burning back. So lots of questions.
Yeah, that's a new concept, basically an arbitrage concept token.
Right. So there's lots more in store, folks, in this ecosystem. That's all we can say. Should we get over to Pulsechain and we'll jump over to SolidX? Because SolidX is Firewhale. It's Randy Alaski's big friend, businessman and crypto leader there. Now he's got this big SolidX project, which did pretty insane at the beginning. Went to $265 at the end of the first week, or just the beginning of the second week there, and it's currently at $15.58. Now you guys are doing something for these guys, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. No, and I think this project is actually a good parallel for where I want DragonX to be in the next months. Yeah. It's about 10 times bigger than where we are now, and more than 10 times bigger, 20 times bigger in terms of users and market cap. But basically, we are the development team for a new protocol that will be using Pulsechain as the base economic, basically value accrual, but it will be available on all chains. And what it is it's a game. It's a gambling game. Mm-hmm. So the founder of SolidX is a gaming entrepreneur.
Right.
I had the pleasure of meeting him in Malta. He's extremely dedicated to SolidX. So don't get the idea that he's leaving it. He's not. Yep. And what he wants to do is build exactly what Pulsechain needs, which is a really, really strong utility that brings a lot of capital onto the chain. And it has enough utility built into it that people will come to the chain regardless of the friction and regardless of like what chain it's on, right? So it's not about the chain, it's about the product, and it's so good that will bring people in. So this game will not only be on Pulsechain, it's also going to be cross-chain. So people can come in from any chain, play the game, and if the house wins, that money accrues to Pulsechain and to SolidX.
Okay.
So what you have is this like sink of revenue that's going to be coming into Pulsechain. And that is extremely bullish. So we have 2 partnerships, enterprise partnerships. One of them will be announced soon, but the other one is Accelar Network.
Okay.
They're a big cross-chain compatibility network, and what it is if you create you can create contracts that adhere to the Accelar protocol standards. You can call out to the Accelar network from any chain. So you can have someone that does like a trade on Solana, and that those APIs can go hit the Accelar network. Accelar will validate that, and it can be picked up by Pulsechain. So that means that you can have users from all chains come in and they can play the game, but you can still have the game settle on Pulsechain. And you can so the idea is like, let's do the full support all chains so that the marketing is very broad, so that you can actually do cost-effective marketing like banner ads and that kind of thing. But ultimately, the beneficiary will be Pulsechain.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So it's going to be huge for the ecosystem. Yeah, it's in its final stages of development right now.
And it's a market trading game. Is that what you're hinting at, or?
It's I don't want to spill it yet.
The actual product itself.
What's up?
Have you actually talked about the game itself yet, or this is something that's coming? So you're not disclosed it yet? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Just clarifying that.
Yeah, not yet.
Rich, is it Alexa? Is that the way you pronounce it? That's the enterprise.
XLR network.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
So that's coming in.
SolidX is the guy to
space any time frame for that? Erik, do you have any time frame for that?
So I think we're breaking up a little bit, but yeah, the time frame is for launch. I can't give you a time frame, but I can tell you the dev will be done before September.
Okay.
It's basically finished. We're just finalizing it and making sure it's perfect. But we need to do several audits. It won't just be a software level audit. There'll also be a security firm. We're hiring a top tier security firm in the United States. They're all ex-NSA guys, and they're going to be doing pen testing and all of these front end things. Because with this protocol, you need an oracle to basically finalize the game and ensure that all the actors are playing by the rules. And it's very important that oracle is secure. So we have this top tier infosec basically firm that's going to come in and do a front end audit and an oracle audit.
So you've built your own oracle.
So that's going to take time. We built our own oracle for the game. There's another enterprise partnership around that coming in as well, but there needs to be a unique oracle for the game as well.
Okay. Have you guys? Okay. Yeah. I won't. It's going to go down a sidetrack, but I'll avoid that. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Okay. So that's coming. Yeah. So obviously finishing this September, the code going to get audited, and then you'll have some news about the actual product and the partnerships, the other enterprise partnership, and the timeline closer after that. So looking good for later in the year potentially. Yep. Okay. And that's
as soon as
does that tie into
yes. So that will be beneficial to the SolidX token. Very beneficial.
Right, cool. Now we've got some questions.
So I would say don't lose hope in SolidX. Good things take time.
Yeah.
Don't lose hope in SolidX. It's just a matter of it's the summer. All the partners that we work with are very slow in responding. So everything takes more time than we would like. But be patient. The bull market's still coming. The return of Richard will be big for Pulsechain, and this game will be really big too.
Yeah, sounds awesome. All right, so we've got a couple of comments in here. Sorry guys, we've got about a second delay. We're getting a bit of a second delay there. It's just enough to get the crossovers, unfortunately. Rich says, can you say it slowly? Yeah, we've gone through that one. We got what else? We got Refined. Good to see Refined in the house there. And we got Cotton Trust says, everyone pay attention. Erik is a star in the making. How about that? He's garnering a lot of attention, so it's good to have him on the show today. StakeX says the real DragonX on Deck Screener. Yeah, well, I posted the link to DragonX website at the top of the chat, so you can go there and you'll be able to find the contract at the bottom of the page. Put that into Deck Screener.
The vault contract is also the token contract. They were deployed together. It's one contract. So go down to the bottom and you'll see the vault. That's where you want to be.
Yeah. You can also get it on the TitanX hub as well, which I posted earlier, which is this one here. You'll be able to find the contract. You can click on the button there. Take that. Let's scroll down to some of these comments. What else do we got? We've got L in the house there. I'm a pea brain and can't understand these things. So where can I get more help understanding staking, mining, and liquid bonding? From L.
Join the DragonX chat or the TitanX chat and ask those questions there.
Yeah, that's on Telegram,
there's
right?
a lot of people in there. Yep, Telegram chat.
Yeah, so you can use the link to the pin.
If you want to understand, there's a very good article called How Uniswap Works. If you Google how Uniswap works, Uniswap has actually created a very good article that will explain to you how liquidity works on DEXs.
Yeah.
And that is a fundamental and extremely important thing to understand in crypto.
Yeah. Priority One says, do you see SolidX as serious over the Atropa guys and the Tangang guys? Yeah, I do myself. You can answer that, Erik.
I think there's no comparison.
Yeah.
You can't just run around making noise and building things. See, those guys they're screaming into a hallway, but they're not actually increasing adoption or building technology that would bridge the gap to real functionality. Whereas SolidX is run by a successful businessman that understands like creating value.
Yeah.
So that is a totally different game than just like Atropa, which is like a dev tinkering with all these things, or the Tangang guys who are like a marketing group kind of.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not just about cycling the same money around in Pulsechain anymore because the volume is dead. People are wrecked. Like you can't just keep cycling that. I mean, if you look to see when new projects launch now, they're just dead on arrival. Like you need to have something new to come to the chain, and that's the value in what the SolidX team is bringing.
Yeah, I like that. It's good. Yeah. Well, we cover Jacob's projects. He's doing a lot of innovation in Pulsechain, so it's good to see you guys doing it too. What else we got? Al's kicking out there. Hey, Al, thanks for dropping by. Hope you got a bit of learned something new out of this one. Refined says it's a flywheel to flywheel. Each flywheel spins faster like a clockwork, says Refined. Yeah, there's the DragonX site if you want to check that out with all the contracts and tokenomics, and join the socials as well. Project says still in Bangkok or now in Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai, is that right?
Secret.
Yeah. Hi, what do we got? The sidebar says Erik and the team are stars. They were a huge part of baby DragonX continuing success. There we go.
Yep.
Rich says congrats on the BDX stream. And you're going to be on some other streamers coming up, is that right?
Oh yeah. Corey Costa on Friday.
Yep. So if you guys want to find out even, want to catch up even again, there's more streams to watch with Erik on it.
Yeah, I want to reach out to more hexagons, try to get them interested.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good project for them to understand because they've been through a lot of the things that we're going through right now. Last cycle.
Yeah. Look, and it's so near term. I cannot believe it. It's just unbelievable with what's happening in TitanX, DragonX. What's going to happen with SolidX is going to be exciting. It's pretty much this. If you're into crypto, this is why you're here, and these are the great projects to get involved with. Obviously, you need to do your own investment due diligence, but man, it is looking explosive. That's for sure. All right, we might wrap it up there. That's an hour stream, which is typically a good number there. Erik, you're a star in the making, as people were saying. And to keep up the great work. We really enjoy what you're doing. You really are doing some amazing stuff, and we'll be watching from here. So I hope everybody enjoyed the live stream. Erik, final comments for anybody?
No, I mean I think we covered everything. It's very early. And these are the early days. These are the fun days. It's the very early days of the bull market. It doesn't take much to push DragonX up. So stay tuned. Do your own research, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in chat.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Hey, we just got one more final comment. Yeah, that'll be the last one there from Trent. Erik, can you elaborate more on Jake's comment earlier today about the market cap of DragonX getting higher than TitanX?
I didn't see that, but it's the thesis is playing out, right? When DragonX launched, the idea was that it was a store of value on TitanX.
Yeah.
And because of that, it should accumulate more value over time, in my opinion, because you have an inflating token and a deflationary token.
Yeah.
So basically, as more TitanX comes out, it's going to go into protocols, and if it goes into DragonX, there's no more supply.
Well, that's right. I mean,
having DragonX be big.
September's inflation's coming up. It's just more that can go into TitanX's inflation's coming out. It's more to go into DragonX. So it's going to be fun to see that ratio play out. Great chat, says Rich. Good place to finish. And Brian says, thanks, Erik. Keep up the great work. There we go. It's a good place to finish. Hey, everybody,
Thank you.
thanks very much. And check out DragonX today. That's all I can say. All right, take care. Bye for now.
Thank you.